Hi kindergarten, I'm going to show you what your independent work is for today. So you see your material slide. You're going to want to gather a few pieces of paper, some markers or crayons, a pencil, some scissors, and you're probably going to want to need some tape. You are also probably going to need someone to help you with this activity, although I am going to try tracing my hands all by myself, and even though it's a little frustrating, I'm going to do my best. So you'll notice here that at the top of my paper, I have house number, street name, and on my second piece of paper, I have city name, state, and zip code. You'll notice that I chose to use the colors that matched the PowerPoint slides that we learned from today. So I picked pink for my house number, blue for my street name, green for the city name, orange for the state, and red for the zip code. So I chose to write these things using the colors that I had on our presentation today. You do not need to do that, but I think sometimes it helps me when I color code. So I'm going to start by tracing my hands. So you can see that I already have my hand traced for my house number. Now I'm going to put my right hand on my paper. I don't want my hand to go over top of this hand. I want two hands on each piece of paper. So I'm going to put my hand down. I'm going to make sure that it's not overlapping. I wouldn't want to start tracing and have my hand overlap here. Okay, so I want to line my hand up over here, and I'm using my left hand. This is not the hand that I normally write with, so I'm going to go very slowly and I'm going to try my best. If I make a mistake, that's okay. So I'm going to gently go around the outside of my hand. And this is where it's okay if you want to ask a grown-up for help. But if you go very, very slowly, you might be able to do it all by yourself. If you're with a friend from kindergarten, you can ask them to trace your hand for you and work together as a team. I'm going to go slowly around each finger. I'm going to go all the way down and stop. And then you'll notice there's a little bit of a gap, but I can just connect right there. Okay, so I'm going to finish tracing. In the end, I should end up with 4 hands. So I'm going to put my hand down here. I'm not going to put it in the middle of my paper because I need it to be under the city, and then I need another hand over here. Okay, so I'm going to go slowly around my fingers. This side is a little bit easier because I normally write with my right hand, so this is a little bit easier for me. Okay. Oh, messed up on my thumb there, but that's all right. I'm going to connect right here. Okay, and for my final one, this is for my state and my zip code. Again, I'm not placing my hand here and tracing. That would not be a smart choice. I'm gonna put my hand over here so it has plenty of room on its own. And maybe you don't want to spread your hands out like this because then your finger is off the paper. I'm gonna keep my hands on the paper. It's a little tricky because I'm using a hand that I don't normally write with. Okay, up and around. I'm not taking my pencil off the paper. Tracing can be very challenging. Okay, going around. I'm going to connect. Okay, so now I'm going to go back, and what I'm going to do, since I like to color code things, I'm going to use my special colors to show you my address. So each part of my address is going to go inside of each hand that I just traced. And this is something that I'm going to post on my door so that I can practice saying my address every time I leave my house. So I'm going to take my pink marker and I'm going to write just my house number. So that's the special number. It starts my address. Okay, so mine is 18443, which you saw in our video today. Okay, I am done with this marker. Now I'm going to take my blue marker and I'm going to write my street name. You might need some help spelling your street name, and that's okay. Maybe an adult can write it for you and you can try to copy it. Okay, I'm gonna write my street name. I'm gonna make sure I use a capital letter at the beginning. My street name is a little long, so hopefully it'll fit. Okay, so I have Passyunk, and the second part of my street name is Avenue. Okay, so far I have 1843, which is my special number, Passyunk Avenue, which is my street name. All right, so next up, moving on to the next part of my address, which is the city name. Okay, the city name is Philadelphia. Now, that's a long name. So I'm gonna start all the way down here. And again, you can ask an adult to write it for you, and you could try to copy it from their model. You could also pause the video and you can copy it from Miss Lapina's model. I'm gonna go up this finger just a bit because that is a long city name. Okay, so I have my city. Started my city with a capital letter because it's special. Okay, moving on to the last hand. Okay, I have my state and zip code. So my state is going to be in orange. So states have abbreviations. So Pennsylvania's abbreviation is PA. So I'm writing that in orange. Then I'm going to make the zip code in red. My zip code, yours might be different. My zip code is 19148. Okay, so now I'm done copying my address. My markers are running away. So now I have the whole thing. I have 1843 Passyunk Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19148. So now what I can do is, oh, you know what? I forgot one thing. Miss Lapina lives in an apartment building. I remember I told you this. So if you also live in an apartment, right underneath your street name, you can add in your apartment number. Mine is apartment 4D, okay? If you do not have an apartment number, you do not have to worry about this piece. So I'm just going to add that in just so I remember. The last step for this project, I'm going to just cut my paper down the middle. I'm not gonna cut out my hands because I want these labels to be here, okay? I'm just gonna cut, and it might not be a perfect straight line. I'm gonna have to go around the hands, okay? All right. So now what I have, this is what I'm going to tape to my door. So I'm going to put 1843 Passyunk Avenue, apartment 4D, Philadelphia, PA 19148. And when I leave my house to memorize my address, I'm going to put my hand up on my little mini anchor chart, and I'm going to say each part of my address every time I leave my house. So if I'm gonna go to the park, I'm gonna say 1843 Passyunk Avenue, apartment 4D, Philadelphia, PA 19148. And the more we practice our address, the more we will know our address and we will be able to share our address. So I want you to follow these steps, and I want you to make your project. You can go back, you can rewatch this video, and I want you to put this on your door or next to your door with help from an adult, and I want you to practice saying your address. Thanks for following along.